And Shaul Arieli is a retired colonel with the Israeli army and the former head of Israel's peace administration. He's also former deputy military secretary to the Israeli defence minister and prime minister. He joins us live in the studio. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. Firstly, as we saw in that story, the attacks on Israeli Jews by Palestinians is ongoing. It has been for some months now. Is it another uprising? It has indeed been called the knife intifada or the stabbing intifada, but is it another uprising, and what will it take to stop it?
Yes, you can call it the knife intifada, and this intifada based on few reasons. The first one was the fear of the Palestinians that Israel is going to change the status quo in the Temple Mount. The Israeli government doesn't want to do it, but some Israeli ministers and some Knesset members came out with a few statements about changing the status quo.
Now, just to remind our viewers, the Temple Mount or Haram al-Sharif is a holy site for both Jews and Muslims, yes. And the status quo is that at the moment Jews can't pray on the hill. That's exclusive to Muslims, but some elements in the Jewish community want to assert that right.
Yes, exactly. And around this fear, we have the stagnation of the political process between Israel and the Palestinians. We are not facing any progress in the political process in the negotiation between Israel and Palestine over the last year. So all this together give the right or the excuse to this escalation. And we know, of course, about the Hamas movement and other Muslims organizations that support this escalation because of their reason. If it's the Hamas movement, they want to change the status quo in Gaza Strip, maybe to get more support from the Egyptian and from the Arab world, and also to convince the Palestinian public opinion to escalate the situation.
So in your view, what will it take to stop the violence? Because at the moment, the Israeli security forces have been successful in attacking or targeting the perpetrators of the crime, but as we see, it's happening all the time now. So what will it take to stop it all?
Two things. For the short term, we need to strengthen the coordination and cooperation between the Israeli army and the Palestinian police forces, and we are doing it very well over the last 5 or 6 years. And the second issue is, of course, to come out with very clear and loud voice that we are not going to change the status quo in Haram al-Sharif in Temple Mount. And of course, the next step is to resume the negotiation, because without facing any progress in this process, we are taking the hope from the Palestinian side for different future and different relationship with the Israelis.
So the organisation that you represent in Israel, the Council for Peace and Security, consists of around 1,000 former military personnel like yourself, who all advocate for a two-state solution. After spending a quarter of a century in the Israeli Defence Forces, why do you believe a separate Palestinian state is crucial to finally bring about peace in the region?
Because this is the only way to preserve Israel as a democratic state and the Jewish majority. This is the vision of the Zionist movement, and we would like to keep it and to preserve it for the next generation. Secondly, we know how to secure the Israeli borders if they are recognized and if as the international borders between Israel and Palestine. This is the deal that we are offered to the Palestinians, based on 67 line with very clear security arrangements between Israel and Palestine. For instance, that both sides already agreed that the Palestinian state will be demilitarized state, without army, without heavy weapon, and other security arrangements that we can be sure this is the only way to preserve Israel as a Jewish and democratic state.
So you do believe that the security situation will stabilise once there is a separate Palestinian state, but there are some on the Israeli side, even in Benjamin Netanyahu's camp, who believe that the violence won't end, and that's why it's not creating the right environment for negotiations for a two-state solution. Do you believe that there has to be a lull in the attacks before anything can happen on that front?
Yes, we can deal parallelly also with the threats from outside, like ISIS, and also to resume the negotiation with the Palestinians, because as a part of this peace agreement, we are talking about deployment of multinational forces along the Palestinian border with Jordan, to protect Palestine and also to monitor the demilitarization of the Palestinian state. Because in the current situation, we don't face only risks, we have opportunities. And for Israel, this is the real opportunity to find new allies in the Arab world against the current threats from Iran or from ISIS. So we have to take those risks and to do it parallelly with the Palestinians.
Okay, retired Colonel Shaul Arieli, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you again for your insights tonight.
Thank you.
And still to come on the program, 4,000-year-old ancient mummies unearthed in the middle of Peru's capital.